Stu Macher, a name that resonates with every Scream fan, especially me. I love Stu. In the original 1996 film, Stu, portrayed by Matthew Lillard obviously, met what appeared to be a definitive end when Sidney Prescott dropped a TV on his head. But in the world of horror, is anyone ever truly gone? And is Stu Macher actually dead? The Scream franchise has a history of reviving characters presumed dead. Take Kirby Reed, for instance, after her apparent demise in Scream 4 after being rizzed up by Charlie, but she made a surprising return in Scream 6. This precedent opens the door to the possibility that Stu's story might not have concluded with that television incident. Adding fuel to the fire, Matthew Lillard has a long expressed interest in resuming his role. In fact, early drafts of Scream 3 featured Stu as the mastermind behind a series of killings, orchestrating events from a prison through a devoted fan base. Though the storyline was ultimately shelved, it indicates that the idea of Stu's survival has been considered seriously by the creators. And if you have seen my videos, well, I'm not the biggest fan of Scream 3 and Roman Bridger, so I think this plot would have been an absolute banger, and I'm sad they went the other way. However, in Scream 6, it introduces a shrine dedicated to past Ghostface killers, featuring memorabilia from previous murders. The presence of Stu's robe and mask in this collection suggests a reverence for his legacy. Some interpret this as a hint at his continued influence or even his survival. So is Stu Macher truly dead, or has he been pulling strings from the shadows, cultivating a new generation of Ghostface killers? The evidence is compelling, but the truth remains unsolved and confusing. In the aftermath of the Woodsboro massacre, the idea of a Ghostface killer evolved into something far more complex. The notion of a Ghostface cult emerged, suggesting a network of individuals inspired by the original killings, united by a shared ideology and the desire to continue this legacy, and also probably virgin-like tendencies as well. This theory gains traction when examining the events of Scream 6. The film introduces a shrine dedicated to past Ghostface killers, meticulously curated with memorabilia from previous murderers. The existence of such a shrine implies a level of organization and reverence that extends beyond individual obsession. It's not merely a collection, it's a temple honoring a dark legacy. The idea of a cult also aligns with the behaviors of the new Ghostface killers in Scream 6. Detective Bailey and his children Quinn and Ethan orchestrate a series of murders to avenge the death of Bailey's son Richie. Their actions are not random, they are calculated, ritualistic, and steeped in the lore of the Ghostface persona. This familial involvement hints at a broader network of individuals that have had their grimy hands in the Ghostface lore and ideology. Also, the presence of multiple killers operating in unison suggests a level of coordination indicative of cult-like behavior. The killers share a unified purpose, adhere to a specific code, and are willing to sacrifice their own lives for the cause. This mirrors the dynamic of real-world cults, where members are bound by a shared belief system and a charismatic leader. The potential existence of a Ghostface cult also shows itself in the previous events of the franchise. Could past killers like Jill Roberts and Charlie Walker have been influenced or even recruited by such a group? Their motivations, while personal, also align with the broader themes of fame, legacy, and the intriguing past of the Ghostface mythos. The cult provides a plausible explanation for the recurring nature of the killings. Rather than isolated incidents, each new wave of murders could be part of a larger orchestrated effort to keep the Ghostface legend alive. This continuity ensures that the terror remains fresh, relevant, and ever-present. The idea of a Ghostface cult also opens the door for the return of Stu Macher. As a founding figure, Stu could serve as the cult's leader, guiding new members and orchestrating events from the shadows or prison. His survival would not only shock audiences, but also give us boners. But also provide a unifying thread connecting the various installments of the franchise. And how could you say no to Daddy Stu? If you ask me, I'd probably join too. Stu, In this context, though, the shrine in Scream 6 serves as both a literal and symbolic representation of the cult's influence. It's a physical manifestation of their devotion, a place where the past is preserved and where they can also have orgies with Scream masks on and Ghostface masks on, and it's where the future is plotted. The meticulous curation of the shrine underscores the cult's commitment to their cause and their love for the Ghostface legacy. The existence of such a cult also raises questions about the nature of evil and the human capacity for obsession. It challenges the notion of the lone or dual killer combo, or the three-way killer combo, replacing it with a more insidious idea that evil can be communal, nurtured, and passed down through generations. This shift adds depth to the narrative, transforming the Ghostface persona from a singular threat into a pervasive, enduring, and menace to society. As we dive deeper into Stu Macher and the implications of a Ghostface cult, the possibility of Stu Macher's survival becomes increasingly plausible. His return would not only satisfy long-standing fan theories, but also provide a compelling narrative arc that ties together the franchise's complex history and also can finally end our edging session. The theory that Stu Macher survived the events of the original Scream and now leads a Ghostface cult gains traction when you examine the intricate details and subtle hints scattered throughout the franchise, especially in Scream 6 as we previously mentioned. The most prominent evidence shows in Scream 6 obviously, so let's dive into it once again. The museum doesn't just house artifacts from previous killings, it also includes the television that ultimately supposedly ended Stu's life. The inclusion of such a specific and personal item raises questions. Why preserve the very object that supposedly killed Stu, unless there's more to the story? Some fans interpret this as a nod to Stu's survival and continued influence. The shrine's existence suggests a level of organization and reverence that aligns with cult-like behavior. It's not merely a collection of memorabilia, it's a sanctum honoring the legacy of Ghostface. The meticulous curation implies the involvement of someone deeply connected to the original events, someone like our guy Stu. Now delving deeper, the theory goes that after the Woodsboro massacre, Stu's parents leveraged the resources to fake his death and secure his freedom. Relocated in New York City, Stu could have established a cult, recruiting individuals disillusioned or obsessed with the Ghostface mythology. The narrative not only explains the emergence of new killers, but also the accumulation of artifacts in the shrine. Even more interesting, the film's setting in New York City provides a plausible backdrop for such a cult to thrive. The easy-to-be mysterious location and the vastness of the city offers the perfect environment for a sussy group like them to operate undetected, amassing followers and orchestrating events from the shadows, or from the sewers, with the rats. I love you, Stu. The recurring theme of legacy in the Scream franchise also plays a role into this theory. Stu's survival and leadership of a cult would serve as the ultimate manifestation to the Ghostface legacy, perpetuating the cycle of violence and obsession that defines the series. The theory of Stu Macher's survival and his role as the leader of a Ghostface cult is supported by a ton of narrative elements, character motivations, and thematic undercurrents. While definite proof remains non-existent, the evidence invites a reevaluation of the franchise's history and the potential for future revelations. This twist would elevate the series from a meta-slasher and strengthen the complex commentary on the clinical nature of violence and fandom obsession. Incorporating Stu as a mastermind behind the Ghostface killings would provide a unifying thread connecting all the installments of the franchise. His influence, whether direct or indirect, would explain the recurring nature of murders and the perpetuation of the Ghostface legend. This continuity would add depth to the narrative, transforming the series from a collection of isolated incidents into a cohesive story about legacy, influence, and the dangers of idolizing violence. Stu's return would allow for a deeper exploration of the psychological aspects of the franchise. His survival and subsequent actions would raise questions about the nature of evil, the capacity for redemption, and the impact of trauma. This character development would add layers to the narrative, providing a more nuanced portrayal of human psyche and the complexities of villains. Thematically though, Stu's leadership of the Ghostface cult would serve as a commentary on the dangers of fandom and the idolization of fictional characters. It would highlight how obsession can blur the lines between fiction and reality, leading to destructive consequences. and I just found out Stu's not actually real, so my life is ruined. This meta commentary would resonate with audiences reflecting societal issues surrounding celebrity culture and the impact of media on behavior. Additionally, the introduction of a Ghostface cult would expand the scope of the franchise, introducing new characters and settings while maintaining the core elements that fans love. It would allow for fresh narratives and perspectives, keeping the series relevant and engaging for both new and returning viewers. We might even make it to Scream 10 with this edition, boys. Come on now. The theory of Stu Macher's survival and his role as the leader of a Ghostface cult offers a compelling direction for the Scream franchise. It provides a cohesive narrative thread, deepens character development, and introduces timely themes that resonate with Scream. As the franchise continues to evolve, this theory presents an opportunity to reinvent the series and explore new dimensions of horror storytelling, and we also get to see Stu again, so certainly no complaints on my behalf. What do y'all think? Is Stu dead, and are we just stretching it? Or is this a good theory with some interesting evidence? Let me know down in the comments below. Please drop a like and hit that subscribe button, or Stu Macher will drop his TV on your face. Thank y'all so much for watching, and have a blessed day.
Peace.